Okay. So how have you been doing?
Well, very stressed. I did less practice that I would have liked to, but I got back listening to Maharaj, and I don't know. Every time I listen to him, he's just taking me to another level.
It's
Yeah.
really nice like that.
So I fell asleep with him talking, and I just decided to listen to all his videos that I received from your Indian friend, because he has so many that I didn't see on YouTube, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah. He's
So,
another man.
yeah, some of them, they have a very bad noise. I don't really understand, but I got this to sleep with them and listen to them, listen to him while I fell
Yes.
asleep, you know?
So he's collected videos from many different people, more than just what I had. So it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
nice. And
So right
also
now,
now there's some software that can take out all the noise. So some of the videos
uh-huh,
have that audio correction, so you can just hear Maharaj and not hear all of that static and all of that other
right.
noise.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
he's done subtitles for quite a lot of them too, so that's very nice.
Yeah, I didn't get the subtitles yet. I tried and they were not available, but who knows? I'm gonna find them at one point, because I plan to listen to all of them, follow him in all the conversations, and I'm listening now. I mean, randomly, I just clicked and I listened the ones in San Francisco. We had in San Francisco. And then it was a guy who said that he has a weird feeling when people look at him, and he has these body sensations and whatever. And I remember I asked you the 2 sessions ago about when I let go, when I say I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, that I used to let go even the body sensations. So you said, no, 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 don't do that. So Maharaj
I
said,
said that?
yeah,
Oh, okay. I don't
so or
remember
is
the
not needed, or is not needed. It doesn't matter, because Maharaj said, well, that's your power. Of course, if you let go of that, what remains? He said, you're dead in a box.
Yeah, I don't remember the
So,
context of what we were talking about, but I'm sure it was probably
yeah,
something different, because that's not something that it sound like I would say. Because, I mean, anyway,
or at least I understood like that. Anyway, but no, he gave the same answer just like you. I'm not comparing. It just came to my mind that it was, oh, look, I asked that. And now it's, he said, well, this is the power. The body sensations are the power.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, and then there's the difference also between, um, for instance, if you're meditating and you go into like a samadhi state, then
yeah.
you're letting go of all of the body sensations and the thoughts,
Mm,
so it's a thoughtless experience. And it's important to, like I told you last time, it's important to become familiar or even, intimate with that samadhi state, because that's just resting in the self without any sense of a body or mind. It's just only the self.
mm, mm. Yeah, yeah.
So I'd have to see the exact thing, but it could also be the person that Maharaj was talking to, and
Yeah, it's possible that he gives the same answer in the different ways, because at one point, he argues with the guy, telling him there is no karma,
yes,
forget about it. Karma, it's illusion. And he's standing firm on and he's like, no, I show you it's karma, it's
yeah,
illusion.
that guy was
But
really
then he
stubborn. I
speaks,
remember.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
it was
there for
great.
that.
Oh, he was great. But then he goes to tell somebody and he say, he talks about karma. I think, yeah, the answer goes exactly where it has to go to the person when time, yeah. So I understand that for the same question, you can have different answers. And that's very puzzling for some people. But yeah, I mean,
Well,
to
you
hear
have
an
to
answer
be
about
able
karma in
to
once,
yeah, address the people on the level of what where they're coming from and what their understanding is and what the ideas that they're holding to. That guy was holding very strongly to the ideas of karma, so Maharaj was trying to take down all of his ideas.
exactly. Yes, exactly, because he was so stuck into that belief. So Maharaj tried to crack his belief.
Yes, well,
Yes, exactly.
Maharaj actually, because where he was coming from is very common spiritual perspective that a lot of people in non-dual circles have, this belief in
Mm,
karma. And he was trying to take him a bit farther, because
mm, yeah,
really it's true. I mean, there is no karma. I mean,
there's no
all of this
karma.
is
Yeah,
nothing.
but
So how can you say that there's karma when it's nothing? If you put the
yeah,
label of
exactly.
karma on it, then okay, then you experience it like that. And I think I remember him saying something to that effect also. Well, if you believe that way,
Yeah,
then you're going to experience that way. But I'm telling you, there's no karma. So
karma.
everything is only he. How can there be
Yeah,
karma when there's only he?
yeah. But it was amazing because this guy was really attacking him, like, I kill you. Yeah, there is karma. And Maharaj was like, wow. Yeah, such
Yeah,
power.
I remember that
Yeah.
guy. I was
So you
actually,
were there in the room? You
yeah,
were there?
I was there. Yeah, but he wasn't
What,
he wasn't
what?
really that aggressive. He was very energetic about expressing it. It was not like
I
he was
didn't call.
threatening Maharaj or anything. It was just,
Oh, he was angry. I think he was angry.
he was
His belief
frustrated.
was shattering.
Yeah, he was
Yeah, he was.
frustrated.
His
But
belief was
he
being
wasn't
attacked.
aggressive. He wasn't aggressive though. I mean, like,
His belief was being attacked, and he.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
And then he
what
would say,
other? What other?
yes, on the ultimate level, there's no karma, but there is karma. I'm no.
Yeah. So in what videos what recordings you took place? Because I think that was in Berkeley, California, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to live
Where?
in San Francisco.
Okay.
Berkeley is
So
just
you were
across
part of the San Francisco sessions.
some of them. Some of them, not
Some
very
of them.
many. The
Mm.
first year he visited, I think I went to, um, there's one in a bookstore, and that was the first one that I saw him in. And then I think I went to two or three, two or three, two or three satsangs after that at the house where they were being held. And then,
Mm.
yeah, actually, I think that was, I don't remember. Yes, then the next year I moved when I met Maharaj, then, like I told you, I mean, like he says about his guru, he conquered me. And it was just like, I had a nice job and everything. And I didn't, I was not expecting to meet anyone like him. And it was like, wow, you know, that this is even beyond what my experience is already. And I just decided that I was going to spend more time with him. So I I quit my job and moved to Hawaii and bought a house there. And that was kind of my home base. And then I was traveling back and forth going from Hawaii to India. And then that next year on Maharaj's trip, I wasn't living in the Bay Area anymore. So I didn't go to those satsangs in Berkeley, but I've watched all of them. But that's the year that there's 5 or 6 videos from Hawaii, and those were all at my house when Maharaj came.
Oh, I'm gonna look for them. Yeah,
They're really
would be
nice.
nice.
There's a small group of maybe 10 people or something for most of them. So it was very intimate, and everyone
wow.
that had a question, or, even some shy people that maybe wouldn't want to speak in a group or something were able to feel more comfortable. And then the last night was on a Friday night, and I think there was about 30 people that came that night. The weekend, so more people. That was nice. But there's one where he talks about the lineage, which is really nice. And tells some stories about Siddharameshwar Maharaj, Hinchgiri Sampradaya. Yeah, it was the best of times.
Yeah, well, I can imagine how it was to feel to be in his presence, because it's like in a concert. When you go to a concert and you hear a orchestra and the piano or a violin, it's totally different than when you hear it on a recording. So the transmission, it's direct. So I think it would have been amazing to be in his presence. I mean, he has such a power to reach people through the recordings, and I'm so grateful that they have been preserved. It touched me so deeply. It's incredible. Like he takes me with him,
Yeah.
He takes me with him. Yeah.
It's very transformational just to be able to watch those videos. And I really didn't want to take them down off of YouTube, but now, I think I told you about now that I'm seeing what AI is doing, and it's going, and it's just stealing all of people's content, all the material, and putting it into whatever. I mean, just passing it off as its own, So I figured I don't want to be the gatekeeper of that, and Ramesh, there was a Ramesh and a Rajesh, and I always get them confused, but he was actually much more keen to
protect them.
To kind of be the gatekeeper, like I said. That's just, I didn't have any desire to do that. I mean, Maharaj never charged for satsangs, and he never told anybody that they couldn't come. But it's a whole different thing now with this AI, because it's really hard to watch where people are going to AI for medical advice and for spiritual advice, but they don't understand that it doesn't have the answers. It just makes things up, and it's just, they think they're getting good advice, but really it's not like that. They're getting terrible advice. So, just made up things that I don't know. I think maybe at some point it'll be better, but now it's not so good.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about this. It's a total different world from 20 years ago. Mm.
Yeah.
Terry's
Yeah.
back.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it did change the, yeah, it did change the,
So you see me well now?
yeah, yeah, it changed, it cut off some of the bedroom and it put all three of us on the screen.
Okay.
And if you wanted to be centered, you could move like 4 inches to your right. Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit too much, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. Yeah.
Okay.
And Terry, you could move back a little bit and point the camera down a little bit if you can, because we're just getting like from here up there. Yeah, that looks good. So Julia was just talking about, does it look centered for you on your video, Terry?
You guys are perfect.
Well, I would say for you to move 2 inches to your left. Yep, looks really good. Okay. Yeah, we were just talking about the Maharaj videos and the benefits of spending time with Maharaj. I've been doing a little bit more work on the book, and yeah, it's just amazing just how much the doing that, the you know, and considering all the garbage that's showing up on social media these days, it's like, oh yeah, this is so much more worthwhile way to spend my time with Maharaj instead of, you know, looking at YouTube or Facebook or something, you know. It's just, you know, it's not that there's anything particularly bad about it, but it does have a way of sucking you into the world, and that's kind of the opposite of what we want to be doing.
True.
Is there anything that, aside from what you said, that really struck you, Julia?
Well, it's I don't know. I every time I hear him, well, first of all, requires great concentration. So I don't know how my mind focuses when I listen to him speaking, but I'm getting the points, and when I understand them, it's like he takes me with him.
Yeah, it's just you just
So
have to be completely open and accept. It's like when you
instantly,
start to think
instantly,
about it and try to analyze it, then you're off somewhere else. But if
I
you're just completely open and just accept it and let the words fall into your consciousness, yeah, like you said, it
yeah,
just takes you with them or into
I
him.
just let go and takes me with him, and in the same time, like he tells the people, well, that it's ego, and I understand it right away. Oh yeah, that's the ego. Let it go. I'm not this, you know. Yeah, he talks about the body and the idea of not being the body. So the idea of not being the body, it's a thought that comes to you in a moment with which you identify. So he tells you, you're not that. Forget. You got a lifetime of habit to learn that you are the body. You're not the body.
Yeah.
So for me, sometimes it was difficult to wrap my head like, I'm not the body, I'm not the body. Well, how I'm not the body, you know? But he really made it very simple. This is a thought that comes right now. Look, you identify with this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
So,
it's not that difficult really when we don't have the idea that it's difficult, or when we're I'm listening to him, you know what I mean? It's kind of the same where um
Yes,
and
that's
or
the
just
ego.
being, yeah, just being like, just being in the mind, you know, thinking that you're living in your mind, you know, that you're that person.
Yes,
Your thoughts
yes,
are you, you know, and that's
yes,
where that's all ego. That's all ego. You know?
yes, right. Absolutely, yes.
So
So
you're standing back away from that,
once,
becoming the container, as we talked about before.
yeah. But how
Yep.
to communicate that? Like I'm trying to communicate, so I'm saying that I use the word I in order to communicate. But yeah, maybe when I'm talking, it's obvious that I still identify myself with it, right? That's what you're saying.
Well, as part of the dream, we have to refer to the body as something, but just because the actor in the movie or in the play says I'm the hero, that doesn't mean that the person playing the role actually believes it, right?
Mm. Mm. Yeah,
So it's do everything, but understand that it's not true. Understanding that it's a
right,
dream. You know, it's
right.
when it's a dream, then nothing affects you.
Yeah.
You're seeing the whole dream.
Yeah, so that's the thing listening to Maharaj, like there is no resistance, you know. Whatever he says is accepted somehow instantly.
That's good. That's good because
Yeah, yeah,
it's that's the acceptance. I mean, that's, you know, the value of having a guide, a
mm,
master, whatever. Because if you don't accept it, you're still in your mind. You're always going to be analyzing and
right,
doubting and thinking about, well, what about this? What about that? But when you just
right,
are open and accepting, then there's no obstacles. You're he automatically. You're right where you
mm,
always are. You're not in the
mm,
mind. You're not thinking that you're
mm,
the mind.
yeah. So
You got your earphones there, Terry?
I don't.
Can you get them? Sorry, but it's picking up a lot of noise.
yeah,
Everything's being recorded. All I don't know if that was exactly it, but it causes echoes and things like that. So
hmm,
it's good. It's good. It's
yeah. So and I'm very grateful to you, David, because with your guidance, I really kind of was able to kind of get away from the stuckness I had that I don't know how to practice anymore.
yeah.
And yeah, that was a major block for me. So that being removed, you know, it's
Not so
easy.
hard, is it?
No, it's not hard at all. Just that bloody thought. It's the
Yeah,
big
it's that
obstacle, you
one
know.
that's the, you know, I keep coming back to that concept of
Yeah. So
letting go of ideas or letting, you know, spiritual practice is difficult. If you don't have that
yeah,
idea, then you don't believe it. You don't live in it. You don't live by it, you know?
yeah. And I remember that I read in Ramana Maharshi too, somebody was complaining about the same thing, and he said that has to go, you know. And I was thinking, how has to go? How do I let go? I couldn't see it. Anyway, the time was right to meet you and to meet Maharaj, and yeah. So
Yeah. As soon as you start asking how, then you're believing it.
exactly, the mind starts to take over. Yeah.
Yeah, well, not only that, but I mean, you're actually believing that it's true.
Right.
You know, it's like, no, it's not
Yes.
how, it's just stop believing it.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
it still persists, then you can investigate and see, is it really true? Because in
Yeah,
your own
exactly.
experience, it's not true. It's only when you believe that it's difficult that it feels difficult. It's only when you believe that you're stuck that you feel stuck. It's only when you believe the idea, it's just a thought that I'm here and the self is back there somewhere or out here somewhere or up there somewhere, then you separate yourself from it. Imagination, you know, that you're separate from it.
Yep.
It's good. I'm glad. So, do you feel like it's
Yeah, me
spilling
too.
over more into your day-to-day kind of just way of being?
Well, it's hard to say. For the last 2 weeks, I had very difficult 2 weeks, you know, preparing and everything.
Those are the times where you need to
And
practice the most. When it's all going good, that's when it's easy.
when it's going bad, yeah,
That's
I was
what,
so exhausted, David. I just fall asleep like a log, you know. Yeah,
Mhm.
but you're right.
Yeah, that's why I try to, you know, I send you that message and said, don't forget to just let the world fall away, you know, for a few
Yeah,
minutes.
true. Yeah.
Because it
Mm.
doesn't take, you know, it's like no matter how busy you are, you always have 2 minutes to just close your eyes, just, you know, breathe, just let go of everything. It doesn't take any time, you know. And it's like
Yeah, I can do it right
s-
now, but yeah.
yeah, those little snippets of, well, and that's the thing, like I said, you know, it's like when it feels the hardest or when it feels like, oh, everything's on top of me, everything's so overwhelming. Those are the times where you need to do it the most.
Mm.
You know, it's like, ah,
Okay.
I feel overwhelmed. I just need to just sit down for a couple of seconds and just let it all out. Just let it go, you know. And then all of a sudden
It
you'll
feels for
notice that
me,
that heaviness goes away also.
it's weird, but it feels for me that when I'm in that mode, it's like I do not want to relax, because if I'm going to relax, I'm gonna give it up and do not go back to it, you know?
Yeah, well, you need to let go
So
of
I
that
think,
idea. That's a false belief that you're holding on to.
okay, okay,
This
yeah,
is an assumption that you have that somehow
okay.
it's going to take me away.
Mm.
But in this case, you put yourself in a double bind because you're there's too much in order to do it. And then on the other side, if I do it, then I can't get back to it. So it's like it's a no-win situation. Instead of just simply
Yeah,
taking a minute
I'm
and just
stuck in
letting
that.
it go, you know, just taking a couple minutes. It's like recognize
Yeah,
this is the training of the mind that I keep bringing you back to, is to recognize
okay.
these exact kind of thoughts, because there's
Mm.
absolutely, does that thought, ask yourself, does, even right now, does thinking that way benefit you in your life in any way?
Well, I think it goes back to being a perfectionist, or having attention. Yeah, lacking
No,
attention.
that's not correct.
It's being the body. It's being someone
Is it
who's,
necessary for your
ah,
life?
if it's
That's the,
necessary for my life. Yeah.
to believe that.
No, it isn't actually. No, it isn't.
So you need to look a little deeper at that and say, okay,
Okay.
well, how did I feel when I was in this situation? And
Mm-hmm.
you've expressed, you know, what you were believing then at that time. You were taking, there was a, you know, 4 or 5 thoughts there that you were
Yeah.
believing in those. And you need to
Mm-hmm.
recognize what those thoughts are and ask yourself if they're necessary for life and if they're really true. And when
Okay.
you see that it's not necessary, is it doing me any good in life? No. Is it even true? No, it's not true. So
Yeah.
why do I hold on to it? For no good reason.
Yeah. Hmm.
Get lost there, Terry?
I have no clue where I put that secret. The last time was the very first time I ever opened it. It was still coiled up in the telephone box. I don't know where I put it. So I'll
All right.
have to spend some quality time later and try to find it.
All right.
Quality time.
We'll just have to deal with the echo.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You have an echo from me, from
Yeah.
this room?
Yeah. If you don't have, you don't have. Next time you'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's necessary to go through this and do a little self-inquiry because I think it goes deeper somehow. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that we think that it's deep, we think that it's ingrained, but it's really not. That's just another false belief about that,
Oh,
this is such a deep thing that I have to really get in there and work on it. But no, it's just a thought.
okay.
Just even that is just a
Okay.
thought. You can let go of it right now forever, for good. You don't have to believe that anymore. I'm telling you, it's
Okay.
not true. And
Okay.
once you start to accept these things that, this is not true, this is not beneficial in my life, it's not necessary for life, then you don't give it any importance. Even if the thought comes, it's like, oh no, I know that's not true. I don't have to live by that, because does that make you feel happy to live like that? By that idea? By those ideas? It just makes it feel heavier.
Yeah, feels heavier, but there is kind of a sense of satisfaction that look how I'm pushing to get it done, you know?
Yeah, but it's the opposite.
Yeah,
You're actually not pushing,
it's the opposite.
you're believing the false.
It's not me doing it anyway. Yeah, right.
Even better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's where the inquiry comes in. A lot of people don't understand what inquiry is about and what inquiry means. And it's, like I talked to you before about Ramana Maharshi saying it's like a knot, a bundle of concepts, and that inquiry is looking at those concepts and just pulling them apart, that bundle, and just, discarding those concepts until this bundle is not there anymore, peeling off the layers of the onion,
Right. Yeah.
But it's better to reach out, and, if you're feeling that way, because in just a few minutes of talking about this, I can help you to just see, let
Okay.
go. You don't
Yeah.
have to,
Okay.
like struggle through it yourself, or,
Okay.
feel like you have to live with it, battle it out.
Okay.
It's not like that. You
Okay. I
can,
call you. I'll call
yeah,
you.
call me or
I'll call you
text
more
me,
often
or,
then.
well, or
Okay.
text me, because when you text me, then you always have the answer there. You can always refer to it back.
Okay.
That's the thing about
Okay.
talking, that's why I like
Yeah.
to write to people and write things down, is because even though people don't usually do it, it's always there to refer to, because the answer doesn't change.
Yeah.
The idea comes
It's
around
true
again and again.
because it's true because the other day I found my last email to you when I was in Chiang Mai before I contacted you again last year.
Mhm.
And it was like, I was doing bloody good, you know. And I remember I reread it and it reminded me of all our conversation. Yeah. I was on the right track. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
then
think.
you decided that, things are bad now. It's like, don't believe that if things are bad, I don't want to talk to him because I'm not in a good
Okay.
space. right? It's
Okay.
like, oh, I'm not in a
Maybe
good
that's the time
space.
when I should talk to you.
That's the
Yeah.
time when you need it most.
Okay.
Because like I
Yeah,
said, it only
exactly.
takes, if I can write a few sentences, or we can just have a short conversation, and,
Yeah, well, I
how,
was also ashamed because I didn't feel like I have something very important to say. I felt like I don't go
okay,
past
so
kindergarten level,
how
and
is that,
yeah,
how does
so
that feel?
uh,
Does that feel like it's necessary
well,
for your life?
no, it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you don't need it. You don't need to
okay.
hold on to that kind of thing. And when you start to recognize that,
Mm.
it'll automatically, it'll be lifted from you, and you'll just feel more open and more free. But the more you hang on to
Okay.
it and feel like you have to wait until you're in a good space in order to say something, you're prolonging something that you can instantly. I mean,
Get rid of it
how
right
long
away.
does a thought last? How long does a
Okay.
thought last? Can you even count how long a thought lasts? It's, what we call a thought instant. I mean, it's here and then it's gone, right?
Yeah, right.
But then
Maybe
we
a
run
second,
this
maybe. Who
loop.
knows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we run this loop in our mind, the same thoughts. It's not the same because that thought's gone. So we're basically just kind of repeating the thought, running a loop, but not necessary.
Mm.
It's not necessary to struggle or suffer or feel like you're not making progress when it can be let go of right away. Be instantly let
Okay.
go of, and you can be uplifted out of a funk at any moment if you want it. It's up to you. It's up to you.
Yeah, of course I want
Because
it.
what you're
Yes,
doing is
of course I want
well,
it.
you
It's
say
just,
that, but you're making a choice,
yeah.
saying, oh, I'm not in a good enough space to talk. To get advice or whatever. You're making that choice at that moment.
Mm-hmm. True.
You
Okay.
don't have to live that way. It's not doing you any good. It's not benefiting you in any way. In fact, it's just making you feel bad. And then if you want to look at it on a different level too, it's also reinforcing this idea of I'm Julia and I'm not in a good space right now. And what's Julia? Oh, well, the body and the personality and the images that you have about who you are. But these are all false ideas, false images. You don't have to live with them.
Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of
Okay.
people don't understand what inquiry is. We don't look at ideas because they're true. We look at them because they're false and to let go of them.
True. Yeah. Get you, David. Thanks a lot.
Feel excited. Feel like you have an opportunity right now, so you don't have to ever live like that ever again if you don't want to. But you're making the choice. You make the choice, right? Oh, I'm not in a good
Mm-hmm.
enough place to talk spiritually right now. So it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it if you want to live that way. And then when you get tired of that, then you'll let go of it. Because now you know that it's not necessary and that it's your choice. You'll only hold on to it for as long as you get tired, until you get tired of it and don't want to live that way anymore. It's the same with everything, being sad, being depressed, whatever. It's like, do I really want to live my life like this? Do I want to experience do I want to experience the self as being overwhelmed or stuck or not in a good space? Or do you want to experience a self as just openness and freedom and nothing's limiting to you, nothing limiting you? It's your choice. And I'll come back and say it again. I've said it a lot of times and I'll probably say it a lot more times, but no matter what state you're in or what you're feeling like during your day, take a couple minutes and just let it all go. Just let the world fall away. Doesn't take, I mean, you'll be amazed at just taking, 2 or 3 minutes and just, just let it all just slide away, just slip away, and you do that, 5 times during the day, you'll be amazed at the difference that it makes in your life. Like, oh, all that stuff I thought was so important or so real and holding me down or keeping me stuck, I can let go of it at any instant. So it's your
Yeah.
choice. Don't believe those ideas. Just remember, ask yourself, do I really want to live like this? Is this really necessary for my life? And that's some of the best advice I got in my spiritual practice. When I started to recognize, oh, I don't want to live like this. And it's my choice. Is this necessary? Is this really how I want to experience the self? And once you start to, kind of do that, and like I said, take a few minutes and also try to be consistent with, in the morning before you get out of bed, just recognize, okay, the mind is shifting from the dream state to the waking state now, but that's not me. I'm the witness, you know. Start your day off right, and then, uh, you know, the benefits of doing bhajans and things like that cannot be overstated. Uh, there's nothing like it, I mean, I I haven't talked with you guys very much about it. I haven't pushed it with you guys because it's uh it's very foreign for Westerners, you know. Um, but it's also very uplifting. It doesn't matter where you're from. Once you catch the meaning of what the bhajans are about, or doing a mantra, what a mantra is about. Um, People in the West have a lot of funny ideas about mantras and chanting and those kinds of things. So um, you guys haven't really asked about them, so I haven't really brought it up much. I mean, I've said a few things about it. Just like I said, mantras are your best friends. Next to spiritual guide, the names of God are so powerful. Mantras that, you know, not just the names of God, but other, only He or Soham. I mean, those are such powerful things that you can be benefited by taking advantage of them if you like. And at some point, if you want, we can talk more about that and utilizing those things. But I'm not going to push it on you right now because to tell people that they have to do something, especially Westerners, I've noticed it and I've seen it many, many times, is that um, if the master says, you know, to students or disciples that they should do a mantra or do chanting or something, bhajans, that the minds of the Westerners feel like, oh, he's putting me in a bondage of now I have to do something, you know. It's like I feel like, oh, and if I don't do it, then I feel bad. It's like, no, I, like I said, we can talk about it more at some other point, but
Mhm.
I think that it's to your own benefit if you want to explore those things for yourselves. And it's a personal thing. It's you know, it's subjective experience, it's subjective understanding, because you don't get any benefit or understanding of mantra unless you do it.
Right. Do you have the Arati to Siddharameshwar Maharaj and Ranjit Maharaj?
Yes, those are both on YouTube.
Do you have the Arati? Yeah.
Both of them are on YouTube
Okay. Okay.
with the words.
With the words? Okay.
Yeah, the subtitles.
Okay. Thank you.
And if there's, I know when I took all the videos down that some of the subtitles got removed. So I recently went back and put some back up, but I don't know if I got them all. I don't watch those videos every day. I have a couple of, you know, the three main
Okay.
bhajan videos that I like to watch. So those, I know those work. So
I have no battery. I just have to bring the charger. Sorry.
okay,
Just
I'm
a
gonna
second.
take a little break too. I'll be back. Another thing I was going to say in regard to like if there's a feeling of being stuck or being overwhelmed by life or whatever, um, how can I say this? When we think about like the word grace, Maharaj used to say that the teaching of the master is grace. And it's true, because that's what liberates. That's, the instructions are, we've all experienced it, that just a few words or whatever. But in a way, I feel my own experience that there's another aspect of grace. And we were talking about it before when you guys were talking about earnestness and
Mm.
the grace floods over you when you love the self, love God, love the guru, whatever, however you want to say. It's all the same, but we'll say the self. When you love the self more than anything else, and there's a saying, God rejoices in the love of his devotees, and the worship, and that worship is the love for the self, the love for God, over anything else, anything in the world, nothing else. I don't love anything else more than I love the self, or that I love God. And with that perspective, you open yourself up to limitless grace, limitless blessings. Otherwise, we feel like we're a person in the world or whatever. It's like surrender, only he. It's kind of the same thing, because there's that only he means I love the self more than anything else. And it's like, but it's instead of just the concept of only he, or there's the action of surrender, and it's the same thing as loving the self more than anything else, because it's like ultimately there is nothing else. But when we love something in the world, then we're thinking that there's something more precious, more valuable, that gives us more happiness than the self. So it's something to just keep in mind, that it's also the same thing of when I talk about turning the attention away from objectivity. It's like, no, I don't love the appearances. I don't befriend the appearances. I love the self. And in that love, the I and the self, the distinctions get lost, and there's only the self. That's the grace, the blessings, the oneness of the self. And it just, that shift in identity becomes more and more solid, more and more established in that. So when you're feeling overwhelmed by the world, you're loving the world more than the self. Can you see that?
True. Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, well, this is so important. This is so much more important. I have to deal with this. But it's also so false. That's so
Yeah.
much
True.
ego, because we're not doing it. You're not doing it. Everything's the self. Everything gets taken care of by the self. You don't have to carry the burden anymore. You're being shown, it's being gifted to you, that you don't have to carry the burden. Maharaj used to say, put everything on me. I dare to say that, because like I said, I don't think of myself as a teacher or a guru. it's just the self, but right now I'm playing the role of a guide in his dream, but it's really the self helping the self awaken to itself. That's all that's going on. It's only the self playing right now, just dancing and playing and saying, come on, play in the self with me and the self. Forget
That's
about the
nice.
world. It's such a
Yeah.
big invitation that's open to you. Don't love anything more than the self. And just watch the miracle that happens. Same thing with only he. You've touched it already, you experienced it.
Mm.
So lay down your burden. If you feel overwhelmed, lay down that burden, because and recognize that's just ego. Don't judge yourself. Oh, this is ego. I'm taking it on myself. Just say, no, this is wrong. I'm not. It's an incorrect way of thinking about this, because I'm not doing anything. He does everything. Always. It's only he. What else is there? Then a question of doing and taking care of things and burdens, it doesn't arise anymore. It's just the joy of the self doing everything. If there's anything going on, if there's nothing going on, then it's just the self. It's so much
Sounds
easier
great.
than we make it out to be in our heads. It's like one of my first spiritual teachers, it was like, I used to have the same kind of thing where I would basically, it's inventing problems for yourself in your mind and believing them. And used to just hammer, stop making up problems where there aren't any. Don't do it. It's just recognize it. Catch yourself. I'm making up problems. I'm taking on a burden.
Mm.
I'm not the doer. Not my will, but thy will, O Lord, I think is the quote from the Bible. What about you, Terry? You been feeling overwhelmed? You've been having a lot going on too. Rachel's okay?
Yes. Mhm.
Good. Very happy to hear that. And I'm sure you've also been having to deal with your favorite brother during this situation. All good
Oh,
there?
yes. Yes. Yeah.
Are you feeling
Yeah.
overwhelmed or anything like that?
No, not at the present time.
Only in the moment.
Yes.
This too shall pass.
But I would like to speak, but it's on a different topic.
Any topic you like, as long as it's not politics.
Oh, no.
Sorry,
So,
just splash a little bit of water in my eyes. I've been getting back to bed early again. I reset my clock. Went and got my dengue shot today.
what shot?
Oh, the second shot?
No, that was the shingles I got last time. This was the dengue
Okay.
vaccination I got today. Got my blood pressure down low enough and
Wow.
went in and did it. Just jumped on a grab bike and headed over there and got
And
it
how
done.
does it feel after the shot?
We'll talk about that later. There's relative
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Socialize, we'll talk about that. But I want to talk
Yeah.
to Terry
Okay.
about what he has on his mind.
Okay, there's two items. One, I'm going to speak about, and then I'm going to leave it off. Then I'll go to the next.
Okay.
It has to do with verification. Rajiv Maharaj said in this vein, it may not be exactly right, that you really don't have to have verification. It's you can do with understanding. The understanding will, I'm going to say, it will suffice. So that's started me thinking, all right, what more of a verification do I need, mind me, or this name form need for not being a body versus I'm not something. I don't feel that I'm something because I'm not there. Then the sensation of existence comes on me. And then the world comes on. Okay? So I was thinking, okay, I have the understanding that even that
The understanding. Well, he was
that
talking about experiential understanding, not intellectual understanding.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. That what you're saying is probably true, but I'm sure. But anyway. Okay. So I started thinking, well, a word that came to mind other than understanding is just as valuable, is that the one within should accept. There should be acceptance of that experience. Okay, so I just want to leave that part there. Then I'll go to my next.
Well,
I've been reading a lot in this book right here.
Before we move on, let's explore that a little bit. I'd like to understand what you're getting at, because you're being a bit vague, and I think there's something there.
Okay, well, it just seems that the oneness or the self or whatever, and it understands what I was just talking about. So there should be acceptance of that. My point is that acceptance is the verification of the one inside. When that verification happens, then I won't be going over here, going over there, going up there, back and forth on the verification and trying for understanding. Because my thinking is, I've already understood. I know that the world and the body is a veil that has covered up the self. That's the point that I'm making. Because it's the one inside, it's the one that's inside, it's pushing, keeps pushing. So that's my feeling is, why hasn't their acceptance occurred when I think I have the understanding? Because I have experienced that little part that I described about being the not existing or the unknown or the absolute reality or whatever is prior, and then my sense of awareness happens, then the body comes. What I'm saying is, I've experienced that, or I think that that's the correct phrase.
Okay.
But the one inside is not accepting that, because I have to just keep on and keep on.
You got a few unexamined concepts going on there.
Okay.
So first off, who's the one inside?
But that's the one. That's the one that all of my study and the reading, as at some point in time, meets the one that's outside.
There is no one that's inside and outside. It's only one. How can there be an inner and an outer? There's only one. So that's one concept right there.
Well, that's what I
Not
had
looking
read.
for inside and outside.
Okay.
One is believing that your thoughts are true. So you have thoughts about the outside and the inside, and that there's two different things. You can just throw that whole notion, both of those notions out, because that's just a lot of thinking going on right there. That's not necessary. It's I know it feels like it's true, but it's not true. It's just thoughts that you're taking to be true. So you're also definitely taking yourself to be something in that scenario that you just described. You have some very specific definitions about yourself when you're thinking like that you believe in. Like, I don't accept. I don't see the difference between experiencing and accepting or understanding. Okay. What's your experience without those thoughts?
Well, my experience about those thoughts is after the event has happened, I can look back and say, yes, I was, again, as I already said before, I was not there. And then there was a sense of awareness, a sense of existence.
Mhm.
And shortly after, the world and the body appears.
Okay.
I don't, I don't experience while it's happening, or that I don't experience the part before the sense of awareness. Now, from the sense of awareness forward, yeah, the body and the mind has experienced that. So, yeah, I understand. That's not one necessarily. But
Well, and also thinking that it has to be a certain way in order to have the experience, but you don't, you're not in that way right now. So it doesn't really matter the appearances, as long as you understand that they're just appearances and not true. It doesn't matter what they are. So you're giving undue importance to a particular set of thoughts in this scenario. So it's kind of the same thing what I was saying to Julia, is that ask yourself, is this necessary for life? Is this really true? Is this how I want to live? I mean, do I want to accept these concepts as being true? Now, this is you're talking about a pretty subtle thing right now. So it takes some some kind of sharp investigation, subtle investigation into who you're taking yourself to be, and also starting to recognize that this pattern of thought that you have going on when you're thinking this way, that you're accepting, you're just accepting the wrong thing. You're accepting that to be true because it's not, you haven't investigated and seen, oh, that's not true. I don't need to think like that. I don't need to believe that that's true. It's like just these thoughts appeared, and I think it's this way and I believe it's this way, but you haven't examined to actually see if that's really what's going on, because really there's only the self going on. So who are you taking yourself to be in that moment? There's two moments, right, that you're describing. One is this experience of awareness, and one is an experience of thinking that somehow I have to accept or experience something else. Does that kind of ring true?
Well, no, okay. Part of that I agree with. But my point is the mind doesn't need to accept that. It's the oneness or the self or whatever reality should accept that. That's what
The mind and the self are not separate. So the mind is a functioning aspect of the self. So yes, it should accept. Because if it doesn't, the mind's just going to run off and do whatever, it's letting loose of the reins, right? Taking your foot off the mind, letting it run. So it's a subtle investigation into who you're taking yourself to be in these moments, catching yourself, and also, understanding is accepting. You're making an arbitrary distinction there, because if you understand, you accept. If you haven't understood correctly, then you're not accepting.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
sure.
You don't sound too convinced. It's okay. I don't. You can believe whatever you want, but if you dismiss what I say, then you're not accepting. You're not understanding, which you can easily do in a fraction of a second. So at first, yes, the mind understands, and then becomes an experiential understanding. In order for the mind to understand, usually, yes, in the beginning there's some acceptance. There's also, you can say acceptance is almost the same thing as a willingness to suspend your beliefs and your stand. Where are you taking your stand? Willingness to suspend your beliefs, a willingness to pull the rug out from under yourself. Not to fill your head with more ideas about I've got to do it this way or I got to do it that way, or setting up some sort of a imaginary measuring stick in space saying, well, I'm somewhere along this part of the measuring stick, but that's all just thoughts. It has no real relevance. It's like it's imaginary. It's an imagination of where I am and where I should be, instead of just being as you are. Thoughts come and go. You don't. Period. Full stop. You can accept that, right?
Yes,
And you have understood that, right?
I have.
But
Mhm.
sometimes you forget.
Ah,
You have to remind the mind. Catch it. You have to catch it. Say, shut up. I don't want your opinion. All you do is tell lies.
hmm.
The more you hammer down the mind like that, everything you say is false. I don't want your opinion. I don't need your lies. The more lighter you feel, you know, there's less sense of that what the mind says is important. Like, I don't care what you say. I don't. And you can even get to the point where say anything you like. I don't care. I don't believe it. I know everything you say is not true. Be that strong. And then all that stuff goes off in an instant. So, having just heard this, I'd like to hear what you think about what you were saying earlier, how you started out about accepting and understanding.
Well, now I that yes, understanding and acceptance are the same thing. So that's it was the main problem I was having.
Who was having the problem?
The mind was having the problem. The ego.
Okay, so, well, yeah, the mind is having trouble accepting or was making a problem where one didn't exist.
True.
And that's basically what spiritual practice is stop making problems out of nothing. Letting go of the false. All right, well, if this still continues to bother you, we can talk more about it next time.
Okay.
And don't forget to try to remember, who am I? Am I the self or am I the thoughts? Am I me or am I he?
I am he or I am he. Yes.
Because when you're thinking like that, there's a whole lot of me in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that easy. Okay, next thing. Das Boot. Hey, Das Boot.
I don't remember exactly now what my question was, but it had to do with imagination. Something I think it was something to the fact was okay. Imagination is your savior, or it's not. It's the main.
That what? Yours?
I said imagination is the main culprit. Oh, now I hear no.
It's okay. Just
Anyway.
just move away from the microphone and just talk at the microphone. So go ahead. I just didn't hear the word that you said.
Oh, I don't remember, but anyway.
You were saying about imagination.
Yeah, he's saying imagination, if it's used to imagine the oneness, that's good. But when imagination is used to think about everything else, that's bad.
That's creating the problems out of nothing.
Okay, but the thing is, though, when I try to imagine the oneness, it can't imagine.
No.
It stops. It doesn't go
Yeah,
there.
exactly. If you try to imagine the unimaginable.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
says that.
Then later on in that chapter, and this was, I wanted to make sure on the instructions. I thought he was saying that if you imagine something, a story, an event, or whatever, but you realize that that event or that story is a lie, then that imagination turns out to be a good imagination. Because it's like you're imagining what is not true, so therefore you're in the self at that point in time. I thought that's what he was really saying. That was how
Don't think
you were
that's
able
what
to
he was
imagine yourself.
saying. I don't think that's what he was saying. You would have to actually read the part if you,
Uh,
yeah, if you come across something like that, put a sticky note or a bookmark or something, because it's without context, it's hard to comment, but that does not sound like something that would be found in Das Boot. That imagination is true.
Okay, but I'll read this. It's printed here. When imagination is known to be false,
Yes.
one naturally is as one's self-form without imagination. Then he says, with self-conviction, imagination is totally annihilated.
Yes. So that means when you are fully convinced that you're the self, when you have that conviction, imagination, it's meaningless, is nothing. So it's not, it's, those two sentences would go good together. Read them again. The first one is the most important. Well, actually, they're the same, really.
It says, and it's in chapter 7, subchapter 5, discarding the imagination of duality.
Yeah.
All right. It says that when imagination is known to be false, one naturally is,
Yes.
as one's self-form without imagination.
Yes. Yes.
With
So that,
self-conviction, with
ahead.
self-conviction, imagination is totally annihilated. All right.
Okay. So then what's the question about that?
I'm asking my imagination on something that I know is not true. Am I in the self at that time? I mean, that's for me.
Okay,
That
well,
seems to be
let
what
me
it's
ask you
saying.
this. In
Uh-huh.
that case, you believe that you are the one having imagination. So that imagination of Terry is persisting. So imagination hasn't disappeared at that point. You're still imagining that there's somebody that has to get rid of imagination.
Mm.
Follow?
Yeah, I follow what you're saying.
So when imagination is seen to be false, so what is being imagined that seems to be true? Anything else besides the self is imagination of the false. So that's the self-conviction. When you see that there's only the self and you fully understand that, all imagination is seen to be false. So if there's a sense of having to deal with imagination, you're still taking your stand as something that you've imagined yourself to be. So imagination hasn't been discarded at that point. It hasn't been seen to be false yet. So you have to dig a little deeper. It's like in that kind of specific instance. And we're talking about some subtle inquiry here now in these kinds of things, because there's unexamined ideas still about who you are, who you're taking yourself to be in this situation. and also inventing it, imagining that there's a problem where there really isn't one. That imagination is false. There are no problems, there are no obstacles, there's nothing that stands between you and the self because you are the self. That's the self-conviction. With that self-conviction, you don't believe in the imagination anymore. You don't believe in, I have to get rid of imagination in order to have self-conviction. It's the other way around. With the self-conviction, all imagination is nothing but the self. I mean, if it's anything, it's the self. But I mean, the self imagines the world. The self dreams the world. I mean, that's the kind of the definition of imagination, right? Self imagining the world, self dreaming the world. So, what do you think about that?
I think I'm utterly confused, but I will go over it.
What are you confused about? Because you can instantly be clear of this if you let go of the idea of I'm confused. There's something troublesome here that I have to figure out. Not like that. Not like that. So everything that you imagine yourself to be is false. So why you feel confused is because you're still believing some things that you imagine to be true that need to be investigated. Is this really true? Everything you believe should be questioned. And so there's a few little beliefs in there that you haven't questioned yet. It's not confusing. It's not difficult. Not a problem. It's just a matter of looking and saying, okay, well, what is this imagination that I have to see as false? It's all imagination that you're something other than the self. Only he, where's there any need for imagining anything about Terry or spiritual practice or anything, having to do anything to get to the self? That's the self-conviction. Only he, that's the self-conviction. And in that, all imagination flees. It's all imagine when you, it's shifting the emphasis on, from me trying to get to the self to there's only the self, full stop. That's the self-conviction. And then that imagination has no significance to anything. Is that confusing?
No.
Express yourself.
When I read this, and even when I still read it, it kind of, okay, it goes back. Trying to imagine the self without the attributes. Okay, you can't. I mean, your mind doesn't go there. So for me, what this is really saying is how you accomplish that, how you imagine the self without attributes, is to, during your imagination, the realization that whatever you're imagining on is false. And that is the same as imagining the self. That's that's what I thought what he's saying.
Well,
It's not the actual act of imagining, but it's more the what I'm imagining on is false, and therefore my current imagining is really I'm imagining on the self at that time. That's how I take it. That's what he's saying.
the imaginer is false.
The imaginer is false. Okay.
Yes, because it's again, when you think that you have to imagine the self in order to get to the self, you're setting yourself apart from the self. There's that underlying assumption that I have to do this to get there. It's a trick, but if you don't need the trick, then you don't have to use it. If it's a trick that doesn't work for you, then forget about it. But if it's something that feels like it's a sticking point or you don't get it, then you need to explore it a little. We can explore it together, because don't hold on to the idea that there's an issue or that there's a problem here, because there isn't one. It's just a matter of clear seeing about what's going on and not doing it anymore, because you don't need to do it anymore, because you're imagining that you're separate from the self and that you have to get to the self by imagining the unimaginable. Well, I've already given you so many, tricks to be the self. Only he, this most simple one, doesn't require even any imagination. It requires laying down all imagination. That's it. Just letting it and not picking it back up. There's nothing says that you have to, anything that you lay down when you say only he, there's no obligation to ever pick it back up again. Because there's only he. He's doing it. Even though you think you're doing it, you're not. There's only he. So I would say don't dwell on that passage anymore. Don't try to imagine anything, because, as he said, all imagination is false. The self-conviction is the main point. Understanding only he is self-conviction. That's it.
Okay.
You don't need to imagine anything when everything is only he. And that's what he says. When that self-conviction is there, there's no imagination. You're not imagining anything. It's only he. It's that simple, really. So forget about imagining anything, because it's all false. Anything that you can imagine is false. It's a trick. That's what he's doing there. He's giving a trick to the aspirant. But you don't need that trick anymore. That trick doesn't serve you. It creates a distinction in your mind that somehow you have to do something in order to get to where you already are, to be what you already are. So you can just forget it. Just let it go. Don't dwell on it. And there's no confusion anymore. It's like, okay, well, if you really surrender and say everything is only he, what's the problem? Where can you find a problem? Where can you find a problem when everything is only he?
Well, thanks for reminding me of that.
Yeah. So let that approach go. That's what spiritual guides, spiritual master teachers, whatever you want to call them, that's what they do. Is they give you little tricks, right? Sometimes a trick is necessary, sometimes it's not. This trick is not necessary for you. You don't need to imagine anything. You need to forget about imagining, because all imagination is false. Anything that you can imagine, even this, that the self is attributeless, right? It's false. That imagination itself is false. So you don't need to even give it another thought. And automatically it feels lighter. Like, oh, I don't need that. I don't have to think about that. And if it comes back, I know it's just imagination. It's not true. It's imagination that I'm separate from he. Am I me or am I he?
So, of course, he.
Yeah. So no problems. Don't make a problem where there isn't one. Don't imagine that there's a problem,
Yeah.
or that somehow there's something that you have to figure out to get to he. He's the self, right? So you don't have to imagine anything. That's just again, it's just a trick that he's talking about, you know. So you can move on. You don't need it. You can forget it, let it go for good.
That's God.
If it comes back, then not necessary. Spend any more time on it. Yeah, just another thought coming and going. You don't have to do anything to be he. You don't have to do anything to be he. Only let go of the false belief and somehow you're separate. It's that simple. And what is letting go of a false belief? Just seeing that it's a passing idea that has no truth to it. That's letting go of the false imagination. That's self-conviction. Only he. Try to make it as simple as possible, and then the problems will naturally not be an issue anymore. It's not difficult. There's no struggle needed, no battling the thoughts. But it's good that if something does come up like that in your mind, and it feels like I don't understand, or that there's an issue or confusion, then those are the things, like I was telling Julia, it's like that's the time when you need to ask. Those are the things that you need to, you can do it yourself, and that's part of the role of what I'm, trying to help with, is that to empower you to see for yourself, right? And you guys are both making good progress in that way of starting to more and more recognize for yourself. Do I know the answer to this already or not?
Mhm.
And when the answer is always only he, simplifies things a lot.
It does.
Yeah.
And that's where the fun is.
Yeah, not to have to carry all that burden.
Yeah, especially for you, Julia. You've been carrying so much burden the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So every morning, bow down to Maharaj, surrender everything before you start your day.
Yeah.
This day, you're carrying everything. You're doing everything. Only you, Maharaj. And then you'll see your day feel so much lighter. And remind yourself, I'm not doing anything. It's only he. But always the mind, has this habit of wanting to try to take on everything and feels like, oh, I have to do it. I have to get it done. It's so overwhelming. There's too much to do.
Well, I had two very interesting experiences actually because, I had a company and it had to not closing, dissolve it. And it's for the last 2 years, I hired a lawyer and she was like, forget about it. And then I paid an accountant and they supposed to send me the papers by mail. When I came from Vietnam, I didn't have any mail, and as I don't have a car, I don't drive. Finally, about 3 weeks ago, I had somebody who drove me to the main city. I didn't call, I didn't take an appointment, so I went there in the morning as early as possible. And the funny thing is that I didn't know to which office to go, so I spent a lot of time going from door to door to find where I can go and get the papers. So finally I arrived at the right door. There were like 5, 6 people in front of me and we were kind of in a rush, I didn't have too much waiting time at hand. So I said, oh well, be it as it is. So then a guy came and he, in Romania, people have a talent to go cut the line and go in front. So is that office open? And everybody tells, no, you have to wait. No, I just want to see if it's open. And he opens the door and the guys tell him, we can go inside. So he goes first. So I tell him, hey, sir, you should stay in the line. The line is up here. Anyway, we go there,
Oh, you
and
silly woman.
I have that since I was a child. Anyway, everywhere we go, it's wrong. It's not true. Everywhere you go now, they have that kind of automatic stuff where you can put your ID card and blah, blah, blah. And the first woman had an issue and she said, well, do you have an appointment? Enter the number of your appointment. And I said, oh my God, I don't have an appointment. And I go in the front to ask the lady. I said, look, I just came to pick up a letter I didn't receive through the mail. And I do not have an appointment. What do I do? So she took my papers right away. And she solved me in 3 minutes. I was out while everybody was waiting behind me. And then I had to go to the IRS to deposit the papers. That was another day. And again, I was like, okay, whatever it's going to be. I was kind of afraid they're going to ask me about tax forms and oh, fuck. Anyway, so I entered there. The door was large open, was nobody in front. I went to that lady. And she said, well, how that company was liquidated, because you have 2 statements dating 2 years ago, which are not in a file. And I didn't say a word, not one. I just let it go. I said, I don't want to answer. I don't know what to answer. So she said, well, never mind. If somebody signed the liquidation of the paper like this, I take it and they will have to answer for that at one point if any control comes. But she said, well, all the papers are at zero. You don't have anything to do. Even if they're going to do a control, everything is zero. He said, okay, I'm going to put it, it's liquidated and that's it. So 2 incidents. It was like straight through butter.
Maharaj was right there saying everything is zero.
Yeah, everything was. Yes, true. Everything was zero, and I was felt so light and felt so wow. That would be amazing to go through life like this,
Why not?
all the time,
Why
all
not?
the time. Yeah, why not?
There's no
True.
reason.
Yeah,
And even if there is some problem, still nothing's happening.
yeah.
That's when it feels more heavy. It's
But
like, yeah, sigh.
yeah, it felt heavy. Yeah, I feel that heaviness with the selling of the house and finding a new place
Yeah,
when all the
I
prices
know the
went up.
feeling. It can be a very uncomfortable feeling when you're getting ready to go to a new place and there's that uncertainty, you know, but you just kind of have to just surrender and just
Yeah.
know that everything's going to work out.
Maybe he
Everything,
sends me out of Romania. Who knows?
everything will work out. You don't have to worry.
Yeah.
Give up your
Okay.
burden. Give up your burden,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
everything will be taken
Okay,
care of
but
for
I
you.
have a question. I have a question. Yeah,
Okay,
I give up
can
the.
you think about it for 1 minute and let me just tell
Yeah,
you what
yeah,
I was
yeah,
doing
yeah.
real quick?
Okay, okay, okay. Go.
A damn water pill. Had to get my blood pressure down.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. You seem a little sad, Terry.
Oh, just tired,
Just what?
tired.
Oh, tired.
Okay, so you say you have a question?
Yeah, well, it's a real concern about that. I have to change my ID, and I really do not want a cheap ID. I really do not want to have my money monitored. I really don't want to have lose the cash and have be obliged to have a digital
Okay.
stuff. I really do not.
Are we gonna go into like talking about relative stuff? Because I'll stop the recording.
Yeah.
We don't need to record all
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
Anything else from you, Terry?
No,
Okay, let me stop the recording then.